Okay, we are ready to start. Uh, so just wanted any one of you three who are present to confirm whether you can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great, thank you. And thank you all three of you to show up on Sunday. Um, okay, so what we are going to do today um, is about estimates of probability. So far what we have talked about, until now, we have talked about random variables and answer questions about the random variables. And the type of questions that we answered about the random variables: what is the expected value of the random variable? In the last lecture, we saw that it becomes very easy to find the moments by using the moment generating functions. So expected value of x, expected value of x squared, etc., using which you can find the mean and variance. And then you can also find other moments, x cube and x4, etc. Similarly, you can also answer questions about a random variable. What is the probability that the random variable is greater than equal to a? You know, इस तरह का question भी हम answer कर सकते हैं. In order to answer all of these questions, what we need is the PMF or PDF. PMF or PDF. Or equivalently, or if we have the CDF, we can also answer all of these questions. So any probability question that you want to answer about a random variable, you will need to have access to the distribution function or the mass function of that random variable. Okay. Now, today we are going to talk about the estimates of probability. You can also do estimates of the expected values, but today we are only going to talk about the estimates of probability. And then the two most impactful results in the probability theory, the law of large numbers and the central limit theorem. We will talk about both of those, and you will see that how easy it is to get to those. We will have the proof for one of those. It's just like a two-line proof, and then we will have a description of the other without the proof. Okay, but before that, let me ask you this question. If I ask you, what is the probability that there is some random variable x, some random variable x, okay, and I don't tell you anything about that random variable. Okay, so I got this message. Yeah, 2021. Okay, yeah. So एक साल पहले बैठा हूँ मैं. So some random variable x. If I ask you a question about this random variable probability, x is greater than 7, and I don't tell you anything about x, whether it is discrete or continuous, what is its distribution. If I don't tell you anything about that, then you will not be able to answer this question. You will say you won't have any idea what x is, what the distribution of x looks like. So this probability could be 0, and this probability could be 1. Could be anything between 0 and 1. So iska to hum answer kar hi nahi sakte until I tell you something about the random variable. If I give you the distribution of the random variable, okay, if I tell you that this is the PDF of a continuous random variable x, then everyone should be able to answer this question. Everyone, by using the information that we saw in chapter 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So ये answer हम कर सकते हैं, but for that we need some information about x. We need the distribution of x. Okay. Now, so suppose if you are not given the distribution, so can't answer this unless you have the distribution of x. Unless you have the distribution of x. Okay. So what if I don't give you the distribution, but I give you something about x? Okay. What if we give you the mean of x, expected value of x, सिर्फ वो दे दें, फिर can I answer this probability question? How many people think that I can answer this question? There are only 4 people. आप चार में से कौन सोचते हैं कि if I give you the expected value of x and I ask you this question, what is the probability x is greater than 7? How many people can answer this? How many people can answer this? मैं तो नहीं आंसर कर सकता, can't answer, पता नहीं, expected value से, हाँ, we cannot answer this precisely, but we can provide a bound. Can't answer this precisely, and I will give you an example. Can answer this precisely, but can provide a bound. If I just ask you this question, के probability x greater than equal to a, yes 7, and don't tell you anything about it, so the answer could be anything between 0 and 1. Okay, but if I tell you what is the expected value of x, you cannot answer this precisely. When I say precisely, that means maybe imprecisely आप उसको answer कर सकते हैं, but can provide a bound. And what that means is कि इसमें आप इतनी flexibility नहीं होगी कि 0 से 1 तक, 0 से 1 तक कोई भी आंसर हो सकता है. So Shiza का question, what if we find the distribution from the MGF? Well, if you are given the MGF, then you are given the distribution. If you are given the MGF, you are given the distribution, because MGF uniquely determines the distribution. Uniquely determines the distribution. अगर आपको MGF दे दिया means कि आपको सब कुछ ही बता दिया random variable के बारे में. ठीक है? So telling you about the PDF, or telling you about the CDF, or telling you about the MGF, इनमें से कुछ भी बता दें. एक और चीज होती है जिसको कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन कहते हैं, वो भी बता दें. So उनमें से कुछ भी बता दें रैंडम वेरिएबल के बारे में, सब कुछ पता चल जाता है, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ दीज आर इक्विवेलेंट. एक से दूसरा डिराइव कर सकते हैं. इफ आई टेल यू द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ x, of course you can find the MGF, and similarly if you find the MGF, you can find the distribution of x. Okay. Now अगर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का पूरा नहीं पता, तो then you can provide a bound, and I give you an example. ठीक है? So एग्जाम्पल पहले देते हैं और फिर उसके बाद आपको बताएंगे ये बाउंड कैसे होते हैं. एग्जाम्पल, let's say we have 104 students in class, and this is the correct number plus minus 1. Sometimes 103, sometimes 105. So 104 students in class. एक क्विज कोई ले लें, quiz 7 ले लें. ठीक है? Total marks were 30. We always have 30 marks, right? ठीक है? If I tell you that mean on that quiz is equal to 10, अगर mean is equal to 10 है, ठीक है? So, and then I ask you that you pick a random student from the class. You pick a random student from the class. What percentage of students will have scores greater than 20? What is the probability that a randomly picked student will have a score greater than 20? इसको जरा आंसर कोशिश कोई कर सकता है? देखिए, अगर एवरेज 10 है, इसका मतलब ये है कि आधी से ज्यादा क्लास के 20 से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकते, राइट? अगर लेट्स से कि 104 में से 52 स्टूडेंट्स के 20 से ज्यादा मार्क्स आ जाएं, तो एवरेज 10 बन जाएगी, बाकी सबके 0 भी आ जाए. ठीक है? इफ half of 104 students get 20 marks, and everyone else, बाकी जो half हैं, everyone else gets a 0, the average will be 10. Average will be 10, right? So So the probability that a randomly picked student, will have marks greater than 20, probability that a randomly picked student will have marks greater than 20, this probability will be less than 1 by 2, less than or equal to 1 by 2. ये 1 by 2 से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकती, क्योंकि आधे से ज्यादा लोगों के स्कोर्स जो है 20 से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकते. आधे से ज्यादा लोगों के अगर 20 से ज्यादा होंगे तो मेरी एवरेज 10 नहीं हो सकती, 10 से ऊपर होगी, राइट? सो this is precisely captured. ये तो एक एग्जांपल हमने आपको दिया. This is captured by what we call Markov inequality. Markov inequality. And Markov inequality says that if x is a non-negative random variable, और ऊपर जो हमने आपको एग्जांपल दी है वो वाकई नॉन नेगेटिव वाली थी, बिकॉज देयर इज नो नेगेटिव मार्किंग इन द क्लास, nobody gets less than 0. So if x is a non-negative random variable, then probability that your random variable takes a value greater than equal to a is less than or equal to expected value of x divided by a. Equivalently, probability x is greater than or equal to a times expected value of x. Expected value of x is a constant, by the way, is less than or equal to 1 over a. ठीक है, ये बिल्कुल वही चीज ऐसे ही हो रही है. एग्जाम्पल, probability that x is greater than or equal to a को अगर हम 2 ले लें और एवरेज जो है वो 10 ले लें, has to be less than equal to 1 over 2 if expected value of x is equal to 10. ये हमारी वो वाली स्कोर्स वाली एग्जांपल है, ठीक है. So the probability that x is greater than 20 is going to be less than equal to 1 over 2. I'm not telling you exactly what that probability is, but I'm just telling you that this is the upper bound on that probability. This probability will be less than or equal to 1 over 2. So prove करते हैं इसको Markov inequality को. Proof of Markov inequality. So let's define an indicator random variable which is 1 if x is greater than or equal to a and it is 0 otherwise. So if I plot this guy, this plot will look like कि ये random variable आपका, indicator function is 1 when x is greater than a. Here you have x और x से पहले ये 0 है, 0 and it is 1 here. So this is the plot of indicator random variable. Okay, let me draw a line here. एक मैं ये straight line draw करता हूँ. Okay, it's pretty straight. Okay, now tell me what is the expression for this straight line. This straight line can be written as x over a. Y is equal to x over a. Right? Straight line की equation है, तो slope उसकी 1 over a है, x over a. And this green line is the one. Green line is always greater than or equal to the red line. Okay? जो red वाला function है can never be greater than green one. So that means कि your indicator function I is always going to be less than or equal to x over a. Always going to be less than or equal to x over a. This red is your indicator function and green one is x over a. So I is always going to be less than or equal to x over a. तो दोनों साइडों की expectations ले लें. Expected value of I is less than or equal to expected value of x over a. Yeah. And what is expected value of I? Expected value of I is 1 times probability of x is greater than a, which means that probability x is greater than or equal to a has to be less than or equal to expected value of x over a. Simple proof. There is an alternate proof based on calculus as well, which is given in the notes. Please take a look at that. I'll give you a couple of examples which will indicate कि इसका क्या मतलब है. So first example is, so let's say कि there is a train station. There is a train station जिस पे ट्रेन आ रही हैं, ठीक है. So एक घंटे में on average 40% trains are late. On average 40% trains are late. Okay, so bound the probability. I'm not asking you what is the probability, I'm asking you bound the probability. That means कि वो इस तरह का एक relationship आपने find करना है. Bound the probability that 60% or more trains will be late in a single hour, or late in 1 hour. In a single hour. एक घंटे में. What is the probability, or bound the probability that 60% or more will be late? So इसको कैसे solve करेंगे कि let x is the proportion of trains that are late. So x will be any number between 0 and 100%. 0 and 100%. So what we are being asked is the probability that x is greater than equal to 0.6. ये पूछा गया. ठीक है. We know using the Markov inequality that this has to be less than equal to expected value of x over 0.6. And what is expected value of x? Is the average trains which are late, average number of trains which are late, which is 40%. So this will be 0.4 over 0.6, which is equal to 2/3. So इसका मतलब ये है कि if 40% of the trains are late in 1 hour, the probability that more than 60% of the trains will be late, the chances of that are not going to be more than 2/3. Not going to be more than 2/3. ये exactly वही चीज है कि क्लास का एवरेज जो अगर 10 आता है, the probability that more than half of the students will get more than 20 is 0. It is not just possible कि आधे से ज्यादा लोगों के 20 से ज्यादा मार्क्स आते हैं. ठीक है. सेम एग्जांपल, ये ट्रेन वाली एग्जांपल लेते हैं हम, लेकिन इसको जरा डिफरेंट तरीके से देखते हैं कि on a single train, for a randomly picked train, the average delay of trains per train is 40 minutes. ठीक है. हर ट्रेन जो स्टेशन के ऊपर आ रही है उसके अंदर कोई डिले आता है, वो 40 मिनट्स है ऑन एवरेज डिले ऑफ अ ट्रेन इज 40 मिनट्स, व्हिच मींस कि बहुत सारी ट्रेन्स को हमने देखना है, उसका एवरेज टाइम जो डिले टाइम है वो 40 मिनट्स है. ओके. बाउंड द probability that a randomly picked train is more than 60 minutes late. देखिए जरा डिफरेंट सवाल है. ये ऊपर था कि 40% ट्रेन आर लेट, हमें नहीं पता कितनी लेट होती हैं, बट हमें पता है कि 40% ट्रेन लेट होती हैं. एंड देन वी आर आस्किंग कि व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी और बाउंड द प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट 60% ऑफ द ट्रेन्स आर लेट. यहां पे हमने बताया कि एवरेज ट्रेन डिले इज 40 मिनट्स, एंड you need to bound the probability that a randomly picked train is more than 60 minutes late. Okay? So probability x in this case, I can define a random variable x is the minutes by which a train is late. And expected value of x we know is given to us is 40 minutes. Okay, so the probability that a randomly picked train will have a delay of more than 60 will have to be less than equal to expected value of x divided by 60, which is again also 2/3. दोनों का same answer है, different questions in the same situation. Okay. We will have another example. So example is, let's say you have a random variable x which is uniform between 0 and 4. 0 and 4. Okay. The expected value of x is equal to 2. So this guy, the distribution is not given to you. Is not given to you. ये तो हम सिर्फ क्वेश्चन के लिए बता रहे हैं, but it is not given to you. And expected value of x, it's given to you. Expected value of x is given to you. Okay. So now I'm interested in the probability that x is greater than equal to 2. What is that probability? Okay. So दो तरह के आंसर हो सकते हैं. एक तो एग्जैक्ट आंसर हो सकता है जो हम हमें पता है कि probability x is greater than 2 if you have between 0 and 4 uniform random variable, probability x is greater than 2. What is this probability? Answers in the chat window. I know you can answer this precisely. So this is going to be 0.5. Okay. And what is the probability x is greater than equal to 3? What is that probability? That would be 0.25. Very good. And the probability x is greater than equal to 4 is 0. Is greater than equal to 4 is 0. Cheta, ye 0 hoga. Okay. Now, so ye to hame pata hai, we can answer these exact probability questions if we know the distribution. ये हम exact answers निकाल सकते हैं if we know the distribution के ये uniform है. But if we don't know कि this is uniform, if we are only given the expected value, then Markov inequality देखते हैं क्या आंसर करती है. Probability x is greater than equal to 2. X is greater than equal to 2 will have to be less than equal to. Will have to be less than or equal to the expected value divided by 2, which is equal to 1. While this answer is correct, that the probability x is greater than equal to 2 is less than or equal to 1, we know that it is less than equal to 1. So the answer is correct, but it is a very non-informative kind of an answer because we know that probability of anything is always less than equal to 1. Is always less than equal to 1. So देखते हैं 3 के लिए क्या होता है. Probability x is greater than equal to 3. Probability x is greater than or equal to 3. I know the exact answer is 0.25, but if we are not given the distribution, then this will be less than equal to 2 by 3. Will be less than equal to 2 by 3. Okay. So this is 0.667. Okay. X is greater than equal to 4. Greater than equal to 4 will be less than equal to 2 over 4, which is 1 over 2 or 0.5. Okay. While all of these answers, all of these bounds, they are all correct. They are all correct. Okay? They are all loose. Okay? So Markov inequalities provide correct bounds. कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि वो ये यहाँ इसका आंसर 0.25 है तो वो आपको ये कह दे कि ये 0.3 0.1 से कम है. कभी भी नहीं होगा. ये this will always be a bound. ठीक है? And this will always be accurate. ये हमेशा accurate होगा in the sense कि bound is accurate. ठीक है? So 0.667, which obviously is greater than 0.25. So the exact answer is always going to be less than 0.6667. Okay. So Markov inequality will provide the correct bound, but it often is what we call very loose bound. Very loose bound. Very loose bound. ठीक है. तो मुझे कुछ बाउंड का तो कोई फायदा नहीं होगा अगर मैं आपको बता दूं प्रोबेबिलिटी लेस देन इक्वल टू 1 है. Well, big deal. ये तो सबको ही पता है कि हमेशा less than 1 होती है. तो ये कोई अच्छी इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं पता चली. Okay. Now the question is, can the bound be tighter? Can the bound be made tighter? If we tell you something more about the random variable, अगर रैंडम वेरिएबल के बारे में अब आपको कुछ और ज्यादा बता दें तो बाउंड को टाइट किया जा सकता है. ऑफ कोर्स इफ आई टेल यू द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन तो फिर बाउंड की जरूरत ही नहीं है. यू कैन आंसर द You can answer the exact probability. आपको exact answer मिल सकता है, ठीक है? So अगर कुछ additional information पता चल जाए, so for example variance पता चल जाए, जो फहद तौसीफ ने कहा कि variance पता चल जाती है, so can the bound be tighter? And there is another inequality which is called Chebyshev inequality. Chebyshev inequality. Chebyshev inequality. What this tells is कि how far a random variable is away from the mean. वो मीन से कितना दूर है, कितना दूर भागने की उसकी टेंडेंसी. What is the probability that you are far away from the mean, too far away from the mean? We know that. हमने नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को देखा है. If you look at a normal distribution, ये इसकी मीन वैल्यू होती है. So the chances that when you run an instance of a random variable, the chances that the random variable will be greater than 2 standard deviations, the probability of that is very small. 4 standard deviation is even smaller. 5 standard deviations is even more smaller. Okay? So how far a random variable, what is the tendency of that random variable to be away from the mean? Okay. And in this case, need mean and variance. Mean and variance are given. Both are given. Mean and variance both are given. अगर खाली मीन दिया होगा तो मार्कऑफ लगाएंगे, उससे ज्यादा हम कुछ कर नहीं सकते, ठीक है? If mean and variance both are given, then maybe we can do a little better. Maybe we can do a little better. ठीक है? So इसका what is the inequality? The inequality is that the probability that x minus mu, where mu is the mean of the random variable x, the magnitude of that, which could be, x on the right side of mu or x on the left side of mu, exceeds a number constant a. Okay? What is the probability that this guy, let's say this is mu, what is the probability? ये सिर्फ normal के लिए दिया, लेकिन this is good for every random variable. Okay? What is the probability that x minus mu is greater than a, which is this region or this region? Okay? What is the probability? So there is a bound on this probability, and that bound is given by this Chebyshev inequality, which says that this is less than or equal to sigma square over a square. Sigma square over a square. Okay? So mu is the mean and variance is sigma square. Okay. So alternate form is ki alternately probability that x minus mu magnitude is greater than or equal to a sigma, okay, or 2 sigma or 3 sigma or 4 sigma is always going to be less than equal to 1 over a square. ठीक है? So normal के केस में हम ये कह सकते हैं कि if the probability that x minus mu is greater than equal to 2 sigma will be less than equal to 1 over 4. 1 over 4. ठीक है? Which is 0.25. We know, okay, 2 sigma जो है वो तो बहुत ही कम probability होती है. It's 0.02% or 0.04%, something like that. It's very small, very small. Okay, so but again, this is a bound. This is not the precise value. This is a bound. Okay? So इसका proof देखते हैं. The proof is again very easy. The proof is very easy. So note that x minus mu whole square is non-negative, right? We agree with that. If it is non-negative, I can apply Markov inequality on that. Okay. So the probability, Markov inequality क्या कहती है? Markov inequality कहती है कि the probability a non-negative random variable is greater than or equal to some constant a square. कुछ भी हम ये a square भी देख सकते हैं ना? This is less than equal to expected value of that non-negative random variable x minus mu whole square divided by a square. So now this is equivalent to the condition that x minus mu whole square greater than equal to a square. This condition is equivalent to saying that x minus mu is greater than equal to a, is greater than equal to a. So this would be less than equal to sigma square. Oops, ये मैंने क्या लिख दिया? This has to be a square. Okay? Sigma square over a square. Proof. Proof खत्म. So example देखते हैं, एक example देखते हैं. So let's say कि x is uniform 1 to 5. ये सिर्फ आपको क्वेश्चन के लिए बताया गया, बट इट इज नॉट नोन, नॉट गिवन. ये सिर्फ आपको बता रहे हैं कि लेट्स से कि अगर x इज यूनिफॉर्म है, किस लिए बता रहे हैं कि ताकि हम एग्जैक्ट के साथ कंपैरिजन भी कर सकें. ठीक है. व्हाट इज एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यू ऑफ x? आंसर इन द चैट विंडो. Expected value of x is going to be expected value of x is going to be 3. Variance किसी को याद है? b minus a whole square over 12. So 5 minus 1, 4 whole square over 12, 16 over 12, which is 4 by 3. 4 over 3. Okay. So सबसे पहले एग्जैक्ट देखते हैं कि क्या आंसर आता है. Probability x is greater than or equal to 4. Okay. So remember okay, this is how it looks like. 1 से 5 तक है. So I am asking you, what is the probability this guy is greater than or equal to 4? What would be this probability? Answers in the chat window. What would be this probability? Is 1 by 4 or 0.25. This is the exact probability. ये तो हमें डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन से पता चल गई है. ये कैसे? ये एरिया अंडर द कर्व हमने इंटीग्रेट किया. But that requires that you know the distribution. That requires that you know the distribution. But we will not know the distribution. We will only know the expected value and maybe the variance. ठीक है? So अगर Markov से, if you don't know the variance, then I can use Markov inequality if variance is not given. If variance is not given. Okay. So Markov inequality निकाल सकते हैं. The probability that x is greater than or equal to 4 has to be less than or equal to expected value of x, which is 3 by 4, which is equal to 0.75. So what this Markov inequality is saying, that probability that x is greater than or equal to 4 is less than or equal to 0.75, which obviously is a correct thing to say. 0.75, because 0.25 is less than 0.75. We know the exact answer. Okay? It is less than 0.75. So the answer is correct, but the bound is pretty loose. Okay? So let's see if Chebyshev inequality can do a little better. Okay, can do a little better. So can we use the Chebyshev inequality to answer this probability x is greater than or equal to 4? So Chebyshev inequality हमें क्या कहती है? हमें बताती है कि x minus a greater than equal to x minus mu is greater than equal to a is less than equal to sigma square over a square. ठीक है. वो तो ये हमें बताती है कि मीन से कितना दूर आप जा सकते हैं, मीन से कितना दूर जा सकते हैं. ठीक है. यहां पे जरा आंसर आप, ये क्वेश्चन आप और तरह का है. कैन वी यूज दिस टू आंसर probability x is greater than 4? Okay, well, not in general. Can we use this to answer this? So not in general. हम आंसर नहीं कर सकते, not in general, but may use this if it is known that the distribution is symmetric around mean. अगर आपको ये पता चल जाए कि डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज सिमेट्रिक अराउंड मीन है, ठीक है, पूरी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ना बताएं, बट we just tell you that the distribution is symmetric around the mean, which it is in this case. Uniform is symmetric around the mean. Okay, so if it is symmetric around the mean, then I may be able to answer this. कैसे आंसर कर सकते हैं? ऐसे आंसर कर सकते हैं कि we know under this condition, which means symmetric around the mean, under this condition, probability that x minus 3 magnitude is greater than or equal to 1. ठीक है. Why I am writing this? Because मुझे पता है कि 3 में 1 ऐड करके 4 हो जाता है, and question is asking what is the probability x is greater than 4. So इसके ऊपर हम Chebyshev inequality लगा सकते हैं. The probability x minus 3, because 3 is the mean. 3 is the mean here. 3 is the mean here. So x minus 3 mean का magnitude, the difference between x and its mean exceeding 1 has to be less than or equal to sigma square, which is 4 over 3 divided by a squared, which is 1. So this is 4 over 3, less than or equal to 4 over 3. Okay. What that means is that x minus 3, so here is the mean, here is the mean, here's the mean. So magnitude of x minus 3, which means that on this side of mean and in this side of mean. So this guy exceeds 1 or this guy exceeds 1 in either direction. In either direction, that probability is equal to 4 over 3. Okay. ये वाली probability plus ये वाली probability is equal to 4 over 3. ठीक है. अब सिमेट्रिक होने का क्या फायदा है कि मैं कह सकता हूं कि the probability that x minus 3 is greater than equal to 1 is greater than equal to 1 is less than equal to, ये 4/3 से कम है, इसको और इसको ऐड करके, since it is symmetric, that means कि both of these areas would be equal, so it has to be less than 2/3, has to be less than 2/3. Okay? Which means that the probability x greater than equal to 4 is less than equal to 2/3. Okay? 2/3. Now, if you compare this is 0.6667. Okay? Now, this bound is also correct. And this is a better bound as compared to 0.75. So, मुझे पता है exact probability x greater than 4 is 0.25. Markov inequality ने बताया कि it's less than 0.75, which is fine. Chebyshev ने बताया कि it's less than 0.67, which is also fine. So this is a tighter bound as compared to the Markov inequality. Okay, but be careful. This only applies when the distribution is symmetric. Okay, what if the distribution is not symmetric? What if the distribution is not symmetric, or it is not known to be symmetric, or it is not known to be symmetric? Okay, so for this we have what we call one-sided Chebyshev inequality. One-sided Chebyshev inequality. Okay, so this will work for non-symmetric cases. Okay? So, and without proof, this
सर एक चीज छोटी सी पूछनी थी.
जी जी
सर ये जो 4/3 था ये तो 1 से भी बड़ा था, तो मतलब यहाँ पे इस स्पेसिफिक इंस्टेंस के लिए तो हमें शेबिशेव इनइक्वालिटी ने इवन इतना लूज बाउंड दिया था जितना मतलब हमें वैसे भी पता है कि 1 से तो लेस ही होती है.
जी 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 बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ऐसा है. So sorry, this should not be 4/3. This should be equal to, ये 4/3 है.
3/4 तो नहीं है, ऊपर हमने वेरिएंस लिखा था कि
should be 3/4. 3/4. ये मार्कोव ने हमें 3/4 बताया था और शेबिशेव ने हमें जो बताया, हाँ ठीक है. So this is 4/3 शेबिशेव से, but this is the sum of the area on both sides. So but this is saying कि x minus 3 का जो magnitude है that exceeds 1 is less than equal to 4 over 3. ठीक है. So इसका अगर हम हाफ कर दें तो ये 2/3 होगा. Of course, but I know what you mean कि हम इसको कह सकते हैं कि यार ये 4/3 से छोटा है, ये तो 1 से भी छोटा होना चाहिए. This has to be smaller than 1. So this probability has to be less than equal to 1 over 2. ठीक है.
हाँ जी
So
सर, हमें वैसे ही पता है कि हाफ से लेस होना चाहिए.
हाफ से लेस होना चाहिए, which is also right. So ये इस एग्जांपल के लिए maybe not a very good example कि ये 4/3 आ गया है जिसको हमें 1 में वैसे ही कन्वर्ट कर देना चाहिए था. That's true.
ठीक है, तो मतलब हम लोग यूज करें और जब 1 से लेस हो तो उसका मतलब कि फायदा हुआ है, अगर 1 से ग्रेटर चला गया तो ऐसा हमें उसका कोई खास फायदा नहीं हुआ.
तो कोई खास फायदा ही नहीं होगा. बिल्कुल सही है, बिल्कुल ठीक है, बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है.
थैंक यू सर.
All right, thank you for pointing that out. I should fix that example. The confusion now se create. Okay, now one-side Chebyshev inequality. What one-side Chebyshev inequality says is that the probability that x minus mu is greater than equal to a. ठीक है. Now it is not both sides. This is saying if you have this random variable which has some distribution, ये हमें नहीं पता symmetric है या नहीं, यहाँ पे इसका mean है, and the probability that x minus mu is greater than a, which means कि this distance is a and we are interested in this region. Probability x minus mu is greater than a less than equal to sigma square over sigma square plus a square. Okay, for x is greater than mu. For x is greater than mu. Okay, but obviously x can also be smaller than mu. So उसके लिए same equation है. Mu minus x is greater than equal to a is less than equal to same inequality. Same way. Yeah. So this is called one-sided Chebyshev inequality. One-sided Chebyshev inequality. So previous example हम फिर दोबारा देखते हैं. Previous example हमारे पास क्या थी कि x is uniform between 1 and 5, जिसके अंदर mean हमारे पास था 3 and variance was 4/3. Variance was 4/3. So the probability that x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 1, x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 1 has to be less than equal to sigma square, which is 4/3, divided by sigma square 4/3 divided by a square, which is 1 ka square is 1. Okay, so this will turn out to be 4/7, which is equal to 0.57. So this is an even tighter bound as compared to this 0.667. As compared to this, it's not always the case. It's not always the case. कभी one-sided वाला जो है tighter bound दे देगा, कभी आपको ये वाला tighter bound दे देगा. But there is let's see. Yeah, I think ये वाली example है. So I'm going to jump to what we call the first big result of the probability theory. It's called weak law of large numbers. अगर कोई weak law है तो obviously strong law भी होगा. Large numbers. Weak law of large numbers. And by the way, we have been using weak law of large numbers throughout the course. ठीक है, जहां पे हम ये कहते हैं कि एक fair coin है, उसको आप एक दफा टॉस करें तो हेड आ जाएगा. That does not tell you the probability of getting a head. अगर सिर्फ एक ही टॉस करेंगे तो ऐसा लगेगा कि 100% टाइम हेड आता है. 2 दफा टॉस करेंगे तो हो सकता है दोबारा टेल आ जाए, तो आप कहें कि 50% चांस है हेड आने के. 3 बार टॉस करेंगे तो आपको ये पता चलेगा, लेट्स से 2 हेड आ जाते हैं तो आप कहेंगे कि 2/3 is the probability of getting a head. But the coin is fair. ठीक है, in order to get the probability of head from a fair coin, you will have to toss it indefinitely, infinite times उसको आपको toss करना पड़ेगा. You will know that 50% of the time it will turn up head, 50% of the time it will turn up tail. Okay. So this expected value, this mean value will become equal to that probability. Okay, that will tell you you know there is a convergence of this sequence. So formally इसको अगर लिखें तो x1 x2 xn is a sequence of random variables that are IID, which means they are all independent of each other and they are identically distributed. ठीक है, with mean mu and variance sigma square. So if this is the case, if this is a sequence of these random variables, okay. Now and we have a mean of these 1/n x1 plus x2 plus so on up to xn. Okay, then for any epsilon greater than 0, limit n going to infinity, the probability that x bar minus mu exceeds this epsilon, which can be an arbitrary small number. This guy can be an arbitrary small number. This probability goes to zero. What that means is, as n goes to infinity. What that means is कि अगर मैं बहुत ज्यादा ये सैंपल्स ले लूं और उनकी एवरेज कैलकुलेट करूं, the average value will converge to the mean, because I can pick epsilon to be as arbitrarily small as possible. So epsilon को समझ लें कि very very close to zero ले लें, तो इसका मतलब है कि the probability that the distance between x bar and mu will tend to zero as n goes to infinity. Okay, and the proof of this is one-liner proof. Okay, so सबसे पहले तो x bar की एवरेज वैल्यू क्या होगी? x bar is a random variable. What is the expected value of x bar? ये हमने बड़ी दफा किया, 1/n into n times mu, which is equal to mu. And what is variance of x bar? Anyone? Variance of x bar ये क्या होगी?
sigma square over n.
So this would be 1/n square into n times sigma square. So sigma square over n. That's true. Because x1, x2, these are all IIDs. तो इनके sum की जो variance होगी वो इनके variance का sum होगी, which is n times sigma square divided by ये 1/n साथ आपका आ रहा है, तो variance में जो है ये squared हो जाता है. So 1/n squared. Sigma square over n would be the variance here. Okay. So ऐसा करते हैं, Chebyshev लगाते हैं, apply Chebyshev. The probability that x bar minus mu is greater than epsilon. Okay. This has to be less than or equal to sigma square over what is the variance? This would be equal to n epsilon. So या इसको ऐसे लिखते हैं, maybe this is not the right way of writing it. इसको सही लिखने का तरीका शायद ऐसे होगा, sigma square over n epsilon. So Chebyshev ये कहती है कि the probability that a random variable is away from the mean more than epsilon units is going to be उसका variance divided by this guy. Hang on a second. ये epsilon square होना चाहिए था. Yeah, it should be a square. So this has to be epsilon square. Okay, which obviously goes to zero as n goes to infinity for any epsilon. Okay. Now, strong law of large number जो है वो भी यही कहता है, but it is stronger. Strong law of large numbers, same as weak law of large numbers, but stronger. और stronger आप कैसे कर सकते हैं? Stronger ऐसे कर सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर तो ये कह रहे हैं कि the tendency of the difference between x bar and its mean exceeding some small number goes to zero as n goes to infinity. So, यहाँ पे strong law of large number कहता है कि limit n going to infinity x bar is equal to mu. The probability of this is equal to 1. Okay. What that means is कि ये किस तरह से stronger है इसका हम proof नहीं करेंगे, इसका proof जरा ज़्यादा elaborate है. So, but the difference between the weak law of large number and strong law of large numbers is that as you are adding these x1, x2, x3 up to xn, when n goes to infinity, जैसे जैसे ये आप add करते जा रहे हैं वैसे वैसे you are converging towards the mean. ठीक है, यहाँ पे हम कह रहे हैं कि with probability of that exceeding epsilon is zero, which means कि ऐसा हो सकता है कि ये जो आप mean से थोड़ा सा दूर भाग दें फिर वापस आ जाएंगे. But in this case, it says that you will not bounce back. You will always go in one direction to the mean. So this is the first remarkable result of the probability theory. The second one is called the central limit theorem. Central limit theorem, and this is a beautiful theorem. Central limit theorem, CLT. So CLT जो है वो भी sequence of random variables का है, x1, x2 all the way xn are IID, mean mu, each of them mean mu and
सर
variance sigma
सॉरी टू
square.
इंटरप्ट, लेकिन सर
जी
एक
जी
चीज पूछ सकता हूँ सर? ये
जी
जो
जी
आपने दोनों वीक लॉ एंड लार्ज लॉ डिस्कस किए हैं, तो आपने वो कॉइन की एनालॉजी दी थी, तो इससे वो किस तरह रिलेट होता है कि इससे हमें किस तरह पता चल रहा है कि कॉइन को आप इन्फिनिटली मैनी दफा करोगे टॉस तो 1/2 पे आ जाएगी प्रोबेबिलिटी?
हाँ, so you define a random variable which takes a value 1, which takes a value 1 when head occurs and takes a value 0 when tail occurs. ठीक है? So इसका मतलब ये है कि आप ये कॉइन को आप टॉस करते जाएं 1 over n x1 plus x2. So x1 can take value 1 or 0 with half probability. Can take value 1 or 0 with half probability, each one of them. ठीक है? So now what we are saying is कि उसकी जो mean value आएगी summation divided by the number of tosses, that will converge to 1/2. That will converge to 1/2. ठीक है?
मीन ऑफ द
Mean of the sum of the x's divided by, या यूं समझ लें कि sum of the all the x's divided by n. So let's say कि आपने 1000 tosses किए, 1000 tosses divided by 1000. So each value of x आप उनको ऐड करते जाएंगे. 1000 x's हैं जिनको आपने ऐड किया है, and x takes a value 1 when there is a head and takes a value 0 when there is a tail. ठीक है? Let me just write it here. X is equal to 1 if there is a head, 0 when there is a tail, and xi. So what I'm saying is that if you take I is equal to 1 to n, I is equal to 1 to n xi, इनको sum अगर करें, so this guy here will lead to 1/2, will lead to 1/2 for n tending to infinity.
और ये हमारी प्रोबेबिलिटी x इक्वल्स हेड को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है.
And this would be the probability of getting a head. So फर्ज करें कि अगर unfair coin होता जिसमें head आने की probability 1/3 होती, head आने की probability 1/3 होती, तो ये 1/3 आ जाता.
हाँ जी, वो इसलिए क्योंकि वो इंडिकेटर रैंडम वेरिएबल की प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ हेड बेसिकली हमें मिल रही है ना.
Certainly, बिल्कुल ठीक है, ऐसा ही है.
ठीक है, समझ आ गई. थैंक यू सर.
Right.
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट.
No problem. Okay, so now this second remarkable result of the probability theory is the central limit theorem. So we have these random variable x1, x2 all the way up to xn. These are IID with mean mu and variance sigma square. Okay? The central limit theorem says that if you take the sum of the distribution, x1 plus x2 plus ये सारे random variables का अगर आप sum लें sufficiently large for n very large, this guy tends to a normal distribution irrespective of the distribution of x. इसका मतलब है बहुत सारे यूनिफॉर्म्स को ऐड कर दें तो नॉर्मल आएगा, बहुत सारे पोसॉन्स को ऐड कर दें फिर भी नॉर्मल आएगा, बहुत सारे बाइनोमियल्स को ऐड कर दें नॉर्मल आएगा, बहुत सारे गैमा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशंस को ऐड कर दें नॉर्मल आएगा, बहुत सारे एक्सपोनेंशियल्स को ऐड कर दें तो भी नॉर्मल आएगा, which is amazing, right? So this also means k 1 over n x1 plus x2 dot up to xn ये भी एक नॉर्मल ही होगा. ठीक है, with their own means and variances. अभी हमने बताया नहीं है कि इस नॉर्मल की मीन और वेरिएंस क्या है. ठीक है, but whatever is the mean of this guy would be the mean of this normal, whatever is the variance of this guy would be the variance of the normal, whatever is the mean of this guy would be the mean of the normal, whatever is the variance of this guy would be the variance of this normal. Okay, so इसको अगर स्टेट करें तो x1 plus x2 plus so on xn, इसका मीन क्या होता है? इसका मीन क्या होता है? What is the mean? If each one of these guys has a mean mu and variance sigma square, what is the mean of x1 plus x2 up to xn? The mean of this is n times mu. So मैं इसमें से n times mu को minus करता हूं. So that now what we are saying is कि now you have a normal with mean 0. ये now this is a normal with mean 0 और उसको इसकी standard deviation से divide कर दें, and the standard deviation of this is going to be sigma times square root of n. Okay? So this guy converges to normal 0 1, normal 0 1, which is an amazing result. इसको इक्विवेलेंटली ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं कि ऊपर से n कॉमन ले लें. So n को कॉमन लिया, so you have 1 over n summation I is equal to 1 to n xi minus mu divided by sigma square root of n converges to normal 0 1. ठीक है? Or I can write it as square root of n x bar minus mu over sigma. This converges to normal 0 1. Yeah. Another way of writing it as probability square root of n x bar minus mu over sigma less than equal to z converges to phi of z, where phi is the CDF of normal 0 1. CDF of normal 0 1. So एक दो examples इसकी करते हैं and then we will be done. So let's say xi are IID uniform 0 1. Uniform 0 1 is very nice. It's very nice. Okay? What is the mean of uniform 0 1 is 1 over 2, variance is 1 over 12. Okay? So we are asked, okay, what is the probability? What is the probability summation of 1 to 60 xi is less than 40? Is less than 40. What is this probability? Okay. What is this probability? Well, one thing what you can do is कि ये बहुत सारे xi's को sum करें, उनकी distribution निकालें और जो भी distribution आती है try to find out के उसको integrate करें. तो ये आपको बहुत दफा 59 times तो convolution करना पड़ेगा और उसके बाद जो है वो ये probability निकालने के लिए you will have to integrate that density function. Will be a nightmare. Will be a nightmare. Hard to compute. Okay? So we can solve this. We can solve this easily by considering that summation I is equal to 1 to 60 xi is normal. Why normal? Because central limit theorem tells us okay, this is going to be a normal distribution because 60 is a sufficiently large number. This will be equal to this will be normal with some mean and variance that we have to find out. उसका mean और variance क्या होगा? जो इसका mean और variance है. And what is the mean of I is equal to 1 to 60 xi? This is equal to 60 times the mean of xi is 1 over 2, which is 30. Okay. And what is the variance of summation I is equal to 1 to 60 xi? This is going to be 60 times the variance of this guy, which is 1 over 12. Okay. 5. So this guy here has a mean of 30 and a variance of 5. Mean of 30 and variance of 5. Okay. So now we are being asked, what is the probability? What is the probability that this guy here, which is a normal 35, जिसको आप y कह दें, y is greater than or less than 40? Y is less than 40. ये पूछा गया है हमसे. So this is basically probability that a normal 30, 5 is less than 40. which is equal to the probability. ऐसा करते हैं कि इसका मीन माइनस करते हैं और स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन डिवाइड करते हैं. 40 - 30 डिवाइडेड बाय स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 5. ये इस साइड पे किया है तो लेफ्ट साइड पे भी करेंगे, एंड दैट विल बिकम a z which is normal 0 1 which is normal 0 1. Okay. So this would be equal to phi of 10 over square root of 5, whatever that answer turns out to be. So very, very easy, very nice, very nice. By the way, multiple ways of solving the same thing. ठीक है, वो हमने notes में एक दो और solve किए में. One more example, and this example is about a Poisson random variable. So let's say number of students enrolling in a course S is Poisson with parameter 100. Okay. So what is the expected value of S? Poisson की mean क्या होता है? Is the same as its parameter. Poisson lambda का mean जो है वही होता है. What is the variance of S? The variance is also the same. Variance is also lambda. Okay. Now, if number of students, हमें पता है on average 100 students will enroll in the course. If S is greater than 120, if S is greater, it's a random variable. There is slight probability it can be greater than 120 because it is a random variable with parameter lambda, as Poisson with parameter lambda. If S is greater than 120, we will split the sections. दो sections बना देंगे. We will split the sections. Okay, and we are being asked what is the probability sections will be split. So basically, what we are being asked, this is equivalent to asking what is the probability S is greater than 120. ये पूछा जा रहा है. Now, S is Poisson, so I can answer this question very easily. S is Poisson. The probability that S is greater than equal to 120 is equal to summation I is equal to 120 say infinity. Poisson can take infinite values. E to the minus lambda, which is 100, lambda power I divided by I factorial. Easily answer निकल आएगा, लेकिन इतना easy नहीं होगा. ये 120 से लेके infinite तक summation करनी पड़ेगी. Okay, so that would be very difficult. ठीक है, तो हम ऐसे कर सकते हैं कि infinite तक तो नहीं कर सकते, इसको 1 minus करने की कोशिश करते हैं. 1 minus I is equal to 0 से लेके 119 तक. ठीक है, e to the minus 100 power I over I factorial. ठीक है. Now this is a finite summation. This is an infinite summation. So this is very time consuming to compute. आगे कहीं जाके ये 0 होती जाएगी, लेकिन very time consuming to compute. Yeah, this is also not very easy because who will add up these 120 terms here and subtract from 1? So this is also very difficult to compute. Very difficult to compute. So what we are going to do here is apply CLT. Apply CLT. यहाँ पे कैसे CLT अप्लाई होगा, क्योंकि यहाँ तो आपके पास रैंडम वेरिएबल ही एक है. यहाँ तो ऐसा नहीं है आपके पास बहुत सारे Poisson ऐड हो रहे हैं, बट कंसीडर कि Poisson 100 is sum of 100 Poissons each with parameter 1. ये हमने कहीं किया था कि Poisson mu और Poisson lambda को अगर ऐड करें तो आपके पास Poisson mu plus lambda आ जाता है. Poisson mu plus lambda आ जाता है, right? So now what we are saying is that there are 100 Poisson random variables being added together. If 100 of them are being added together, that means that we have CLT applicable. 100 जमा हो गए हैं ये. And that is why we said कि binomial जो था, which has an approximation as Poisson, उस binomial की approximation एक Poisson होती है, वो binomial के ऊपर भी हमने एक normal random variable उसकी approximation लगा दी थी back in chapter 6, chapter 5 or chapter 6. So we said that a binomial can be approximated by a normal because a binomial consists of many Bernoulli random variables. Since you have many of these Bernoulli random variables added together, that's why binomial could be approximated by a normal random variable. Okay? But that's not just applicable. That's not just applicable to Bernoullis and binomials. It is applicable to any random variable. If you have many of those added together, the sum of those would be equal to, would be a normal distribution, Okay. यहाँ तो अभी IIDs की बात हो रही है. Even if they are not IIDs, this would still be applicable. ठीक है. But अभी हम सिर्फ जो है IIDs के ऊपर ही फोकस कर रहे हैं. Now we are being asked the probability that S is greater than 120. So I am going to approximate S by X, which is normal with the same mean and same variance, which is 100 and 100 mean and 100 variance. Yeah. So the probability S is greater than 120. Remember that S is discrete random variable. It's a Poisson random variable, takes values 0, 1, 2, 3. ये values ले सकता है infinity तक. ठीक है. So this would be equal to the probability that X is greater than or equal to 119.5. Why 119.5? Because we need to do continuity correction. This is a discrete guy. S is a discrete guy. If this was a continuous random variable, it would not have needed continuity correction. Okay. So continuity correction यहाँ पे हमने की. So greater than equal to 120 means के 120 के आधा इधर और आधा इधर दोनों को हम consider करेंगे. So 119.5. X is greater than 119.5. Okay. So by the way, this should also be equal to X greater than equal to 119.5. Why? Because X is a continuous random variable. For continuous random variable, ये आप greater than लिखें या greater than equal to लिखें एक ही बात होती है, because equal to की तो probability वैसे ही 0 होती है. So this would be equal to the probability X minus 100 over square root of 100. उसका mean minus किया, standard deviation से divide किया, greater than equal to 119.5 minus 100 over square root of 100. Okay. So this is probability. What is this guy here? This guy is Z. Normal 0, 1. Standard normal distribution. Greater than 1.95. Okay. This should be equal to 1 minus phi of 1.95. जो भी आंसर आता है. So I will do very quick two examples, one for the discrete case and one for the continuous case. One for the discrete case and one for the continuous case. Actually continuous वाली तो हमने uniform के केस में कर ही ली है. Continuous वाली तो हमने uniform के केस में कर ली है. So one more example on the discrete case. 10 fair dice roll down. इनको हमने roll किया and note the sum. Note the sum S. I am interested in finding the probability that the sum is between 30 and 40 inclusive. Okay. So इसको कैसे solve करेंगे? Approximate S by X, which is normal with some mean and some variance. Yeah. What mean and what variance? Same as the mean of S and same as the variance of S. उसके लिए मुझे S का mean निकालना चाहिए. Okay. So what is expected value of S and variance of S? ये निकालनी है. Okay. So consider one roll. And let Si is the face that shows up. So expected value of Si on the ith roll is going to be 1 over 6, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, right? So this turns out to be 3.5. So expected value of Si squared, ये क्या होगा? 1 over 6, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, 6 square. And this turns out to be equal to 91 over 6. So variance of SI would be equal to 91/6 minus 3.5 whole square. And this turns out to be 175/6. 175/6. Okay. Therefore, expected value of S आपके पास क्या आ जाएगी? So there are 10 of these guys. So 10 into 3.5, which is 35, and the variance of S would be equal to variance of S. So this would be 175/60. 60. So this would be 10 times 175/60, which is 175/6. Okay. Hence, जो x है जिससे हम approximate कर लें, this would be normal with mean 35 and variance 175/6. Now we are being asked, what is the probability? What is the probability that S is between 30 and 40? S is between 30 and 40. This is the same as the probability that X is between 29.5 and 40.5. Okay. With continuity correction. With continuity correction. So this would be equal to, so subtract the mean from X and divide by variance. Subtract the mean and divide by standard deviation. And divide by standard deviation. क्यों करते हैं ये? Normalize करने के लिए, so that you get a normal 0, 1. So the probability that S is between 30 and 40 inclusive, this is equal to the probability 29.5 minus 35, which was the mean of X, divided by square root of 175/6, less than equal to Z, less than equal to 40.5 minus 35 over 175/6. Okay, so this turns out to be equal to minus 1.0184 less than equal to Z, less than equal to 1.0184. So this is equal to phi of 1.0184 minus phi of minus 1.0184. ये हमने बहुत दफा सॉल्व किया. So this is basically (1.0184) and minus 1.0184. We are interested in this area, so it should be phi of this guy minus phi of this guy. Okay. So this should be equal to, this can be written as 1 minus phi of 1.0814. So this would be 2 phi 1.0184 minus 1, and turns out to be 0.692. Okay. So once again, important to note that we have added a continuity correction here. ये ना होती तो ये हमारा आंसर थोड़ा सा ऑफ आ जाता, still approximately right, but make sure that if S is a discrete random variable, you add this continuity correction. So what we had done for this uniform random variable, uniform वाले केस के अंदर Poisson में भी हमने continuity correction add की, क्योंकि Poisson is also a discrete random variable. For uniform, I did not need to add a continuity correction. वहाँ पे करने की जरूरत नहीं थी, because uniform is a continuous random variable. So I think that there is the
sir?
जी
Sir, how like kitne iterations pe jaake we can convert it to CLT? Is there like a limit or just a general figure कि अगर बड़ा वो number लग रहा हो तो we convert it?
Good question. Some distributions converge quickly. So for example, if you have one uniform, maybe after 4, 5, 6, it starts looking like a normal. If you have exponential will take a little longer to converge. Okay, but if you have 10 of these, 8 of these, uske baad convergence aa jati hai, so you will have a reasonably good answer. And I will give you a very quick insight into why that happens. So let's say you have two uniforms. So one uniform like this, and another uniform like this. Okay, so this is two uniforms. Okay, इन दोनों को अगर मैं ऐड करता हूं x1 और x2 को, and they are independent, identically distributed. So जब इन दोनों को मैं ऐड करूं तो the PDF of the sum, is the convolution between the two. और the convolution between these two, ये हमने एक जगह सॉल्व किया था, ये इस तरह का होता है, ट्रायंगल बनता है. ठीक है, सो add another यूनिफॉर्म, उसमें एक और यूनिफॉर्म को ऐड करें, तो अब मुझे इसके साथ कन्वॉल्व करना पड़ेगा. इसके साथ कन्वॉल्व करेंगे तो यू विल सी के दिस ट्रायंगल, दिस स्टार्ट्स लुकिंग लाइक स्लाइटली कर्वेचर हियर. ठीक है, फिर उसके साथ वन मोर कन्वॉल्व करेंगे तो दिस विल बी इवन मोर लाइक दिस. ठीक है, सो जैसे जैसे और आप इसमें ऐड करते जाएंगे, सो यू विल सी वेरी क्विकली द यूनिफॉर्म स्टार्ट्स लुकिंग लाइक अ नॉर्मल, बिल्कुल स्टार्ट्स लुकिंग लाइक अ नॉर्मल. ठीक है, 5-6 के बाद जो है ना वो इट वुड बी you know visible very easily. You'll be able to see के this looks like a normal. उसने बुक में भी मेरा ख्याल है, आई एम नॉट श्योर कि उसने पिक्चर्स वहां पे दी हुई या नहीं दी हुई, बट ऑनलाइन अगर कहीं पे जाएं, इसको आप 2-3 यूनिफॉर्म्स को आप कन्वॉल्व करके देखें, वोल्फ्राम अल्फा पे चले जाएं और वहां पे जाके इनको कन्वॉल्व करके देखें, यू विल सी के 3-4 के बाद जो है द शेप विल स्टार्ट लुकिंग लाइक नॉर्मल. For the exponential case, maybe it will take 7 or 8 iterations before you see that it will start looking like a normal. Okay? So there is no rule of thumb for this, but if you have, let's say 10 of these IID random variables, we will say कि इसको normal से approximate कर सकते हैं. वैसे भी in any case, this is an approximation anyway.
सर आप रिपीट करते हैं, आपने कहा 10 से ज्यादा हो तो हम कर लें.
10 या 10 से ज्यादा हो जाए, I'm sure के there will be some rule of thumb for different types of distributions, but really मैं आपको एक और एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि let's say ये सेल फोन पे आपके पास सिग्नल्स रिसीव होते हैं. So this signal is received after the wireless signal which is transmitted from some base station. वो कहीं से रिफ्लेक्ट होके आ रहा होता है, तो ये बहुत सारी वेव्स आपके पास रिफ्लेक्ट होके आ रही होती हैं. So each one of those wave when reflected from different balls, ये सारे random variable आपके पास ऐड हो रहे हैं, तो ये आपके पास एक नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन बन जाती है. And since wireless transmission is done in 2 components के अंदर होती है, उसके 2 different components होते हैं, cosine components होते हैं और sine components. Each one of those is a normal distribution. और 2 normal distribution quadrature में जब उनको आप ऐड करते हैं तो आपके पास जो है वो एक साइन में एक नॉर्मल आता है, एक कोसाइन में नॉर्मल आता है. एंड दिस इज समथिंग दैट पीपल हैड ऑब्जर्व्ड. रेडियो ट्रांसमिशन पे वो एक जगह से रेडियो ट्रांसमिट करते थे, वहां पे ट्रांसमीटर लगा देते थे, और दूसरी जगह पे एक रिसीवर, एक गाड़ी के ऊपर रिसीवर आप लगा दें और गाड़ी को घुमाते फिर इधर उधर से, एंड टेक डिफरेंट मेजरमेंट्स, ऐड दोस अप टुगेदर, एंड यू गेट सरप्राइज्ड टू सी कि ये आपके पास नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन आपको मिल रही है. दिस वाज बिफोर people said कि वायरलेस ट्रांसमिशन को हम इस तरह से मॉडल कर सकते हैं. पहले लोगों ने जो है वो ऑब्जर्वेशंस की, डेटा आया उनके पास, उस डेटे को उन्होंने उसके ऊपर फ्रीक्वेंसी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्लॉट की, तो वो पता चला कि नॉर्मल की तरह की आपको लगती है. उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा ओ यहाँ पे तो सेंट्रल लिमिट थ्योरम लग रहा है, क्योंकि ये इतनी सारी रिफ्लेक्शन होके आ रही है. So lots of other uses. Brownian motion, if anyone remembers from the physics days, तो Brownian motion के अंदर भी जो है वो एक molecule gets impacted from various different points. हर जगह एक random उसके अंदर जो है वो term add होती जाती है. So उसका x component, y component, each of them will become normal independently. So वो भी वहाँ पे भी आती हैं, and many other places. Electrical noise which gets added to a signal, that noise is also modeled as a normal random variable, once again because of the applicability of the central limit theorem. So many different places where the central limit theorem will be applicable. Yeah. So that finishes everything. There is a couple of more examples जो notes के अंदर available हैं, वो मैंने upload भी कर दी हैं, और I will upload a fresh copy. ये आज जो फहद ने जो एक point out किया है उसकी Shabby-Chef के अंदर, उसकी वो मैं example को fix करके I will upload a fresh copy sometimes today. But that finishes everything that we wanted to do in this semester इस course के लिए. और we have a final exam on 5th or 6th, I think, maybe 6th of May, not sure. But whatever is the announced slot जो registrar's office ने announce की हुई है, उस slot के बीच में we will have the final exam, and the final exam is 3 hours. I think whatever is the Friday, not the coming Friday, but the one after that. So उस Friday को 3 to 6 is the exam. Yeah. So कोई क्वेश्चन है तो पूछ लें प्लीज.
सर एक क्वेश्चन था, वो बिल्कुल स्टार्टिंग के करीब से, लाइक काफी पीछे से.
जी जी जी.
सर जो प्रूफ था उसका मार्कोव इनइक्वालिटी का, तो वो इतना सही समझ नहीं आया था. मैंने कमेंट पे पूछ लूंगा.
हाँ, कोई मसला नहीं. देखें, मार्कोव इनइक्वालिटी में हमने ये कहा कि ये बाय द वे एक कैलकुलस बेस्ड प्रूफ भी है, वो भी हमने नोट्स में किया हुआ है. दैट माइट बी इजियर फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड. लेकिन ये वाला भी इतना मुश्किल नहीं है, ये बहुत आसान है. एक इंडिकेटर वेरिएबल मैंने डिफाइन कर दिया है, और इंडिकेटर वेरिएबल जो है वो 1 होता है इफ दिस इवेंट हैपेंस व्हेन x इज ग्रेटर देन a. What that means is के expected value of I will be equal to probability x greater than equal to a, right? Expected value of I would be equal to the probability that x is greater than equal to a. ठीक है. Now इस I को अगर मैं प्लॉट करूं, इस I को अगर मैं प्लॉट करता हूं, ये मैंने ये रेड कलर से प्लॉट कर दिया इसको. I is 1 when x is greater than a and I is 0 when x is less than a. ठीक है. इस I को मैंने ये रेड कलर से प्लॉट कर दिया. ठीक है. मैं एक और प्लॉट करता हूँ ग्रीन वाला, जो इसको बस यहाँ जस्ट एज के ऊपर टच करता है. और ये ग्रीन वाला प्लॉट ऐसे है कि इसकी अगर मैं इक्वेशन लिखूं, इसकी इक्वेशन है x over a. Why? Because ये स्ट्रेट लाइन है. सो स्ट्रेट लाइन है तो ये this is passing through the origin. So इसकी स्ट्रेट लाइन की इक्वेशन अगर मुझे लिखनी हो तो वो 1 over a is the slope. 1 over a is the slope. ये देखें, x पे a का डिस्टेंस कवर होता है और y पे आपका 1 का डिस्टेंस कवर हो रहा है. ठीक है. So 1 over a is the slope and it's passing through 0. So slope multiplied by x plus the जो y axis पे जहाँ पे कट करता है उसको, which is 0. So 1 over a times x. So if you look at it, तो ये मेरे पास जो फंक्शन I है, this is red is the function I and green is the function x over a. So I is always less than equal to x over a. ये इससे एग्री करते हैं? I is always less
सर इसी स्टेटमेंट में डाउट था सर. एक तो ये कि कैपिटल x ओवर a हमने कहाँ से एक रैंडम वेरिएबल बनाया है जो स्मॉल x ओवर a से किस तरह रिलेटेड है?
हाँ, स्मॉल x ओवर a से इस तरह से रिलेटेड है कि ये कैपिटल, देखें, ये कैपिटल x जो है, ये जो भी वैल्यू लेता है वो स्मॉल x है. तो जब भी हम उसको रैंडम वेरिएबल को प्लॉट करते हैं, हम ये कहते हैं कि कैपिटल x रैंडम वेरिएबल टेकिंग वैल्यू स्मॉल x एंड स्मॉल x आल्सो टेक्स ऑल ऑफ दोस वैल्यूज. लेकिन हम उसको एज अ पैरामीटर इस्तेमाल करते हैं, नॉट एज अ रैंडम वेरिएबल. ठीक है, ठीक है ना. सो यूं चूंकि हमने कहा हुआ है कि I is equal to 1 if capital X is greater than equal to a. If capital X is greater than equal to a, so that means कि I must be less than equal to x over a from this graph.
और सर सेकंड बात ये कि जो I और x over a है, ये तो हम उसका y एक्सिस के अकॉर्डिंग देखें तो ये बन रहा है कि वो ग्रीन कर्व ऊपर है रेड से, तो वो तो y एक्सिस पे लेकिन प्रोबेबिलिटी होती है ना कि
नहीं, यहाँ तो ये मैंने फंक्शन के मैग्नीट्यूड प्लॉट कर दिए. दिस इज द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ द फंक्शन. ये मैंने I को इटसेल्फ I को प्लॉट कर दिया और ये फंक्शन x over a को प्लॉट कर दिया. अच्छा, ठीक है. हाँ, ये मैंने प्रोबेबिलिटी को नहीं प्लॉट किया, ये तो मैंने फंक्शंस को प्लॉट कर दिया. ठीक है.
I एज अ फंक्शन और x एज अ फंक्शन.
I as a function of x and x as x over a as a function of x.
अच्छा, ठीक है. अब समझ आ गई सर.
ठीक है ना. I as a function of x and x over a as a function of x. So then I can write this. If I can write this, then I can take the expected value of on either side. वैसे अगर आप इसका वो दूसरा वाला भी प्रूफ देखें ना, वो भी है तो वो कैलकुलस वाला प्रूफ, बट ट्रांसलेट इसी के अंदर ही होता है।
ठीक है सर, ठीक है। और सर जो हमने आज सारा कुछ पढ़ा ये सारा डिस्क्रीट एंड कंटिन्यूस दोनों के लिए एप्लीकेबल है ना?
ये डिस्क्रीट और कंटिन्यूस दोनों के लिए एप्लीकेबल है।
ठीक है।
जी जी
और सर एक लास्ट चीज ये कि वो आपने सेंट्रल लिमिट थ्योरम में कहा था कि इवन अगर वो ना हो आईआईडी तो भी हम कर सकते हैं यूज, तो उसके
हाँ
लिए
जी,
मैंने पूछा था एज एन अप्रोक्सीमेशन मतलब यूज कर सकते हैं
एज एन
या क्या?
अप्रोक्सीमेशन यूज कर सकते हैं। बुक में उसने एक टॉपिक भी दिया हुआ, एग्जांपल दिया, वो मैंने स्किप कर दिया, बट यू कैन टेक अ लुक एट इट। किताब में उसकी थोड़ी सी एक्सप्लेनेशन दी हुई है, और इस बुक में बहुत ज्यादा डिटेल में भी नहीं है। दिस इज फर्स्ट कोर्स, लेकिन लेटर ऑन यू नो इफ यू टेक एनी सब्सिक्वेंट कोर्स उसके अंदर जो है वो ज्यादा डिटेल में और कवर हो जाएगा। बट यस, दैट दैट इज स्टिल ट्रू।
एज एन अप्रोक्सीमेशन मतलब
जी 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 जी
एग्जैक्ट। वो तो
जी
वैसे
जी,
ये वाली भी अप्रोक्सीमेशन ही है ना?
ये भी अप्रोक्सीमेशन है, वो भी अप्रोक्सीमेशन ही है।
अच्छा ठीक है, लेकिन वो वैलिड अप्रोक्सीमेशन के तौर पे यूज की जा सकती
जी जी बिल्कुल वैलिड अप्रोक्सीमेशन है। एंड अगेन ये अप्रोक्सीमेशन बेहतर होती जाती है एज यू हैव मैनी मोर एंड मोर IID random variables added together. वहां पे भी the approximation starts becoming better if you have more and more random variables added together.
है।
सर
ठीक है, तो
उसमें लेकिन फिर जब आईआईडी नहीं है तो हम लोग किस तरह से उसका मीन और वेरिएंस जो है वो सम अप करेंगे, वो फिर द लॉन्ग वे?
नहीं, इंडिपेंडेंट होना जरूरी है। आइडेंटिकली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इज नॉट नेसेसरी। इंडिपेंडेंट होना फिर भी जरूरी है।
ओके सही
हाँ हाँ हाँ, अगर इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं होंगे तो फिर हम अप्रोक्सीमेशन भी नहीं लगा सकेंगे।
सही सही, थैंक यू।
जी जी जी।
ठीक है। और सर आपने कहा कि रूल ऑफ थंब 10 को रखेंगे, अगर 10 से कम होगा फिर हम मतलब ना यूज करेंगे ये चीज सेंट्रल
नहीं
लिमिट
नहीं,
थ्योरम।
आई थिंक इट अगेन डिपेंड्स। सो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर यूनिफॉर्म्स होंगे, अगेन ये कहना नहीं चाहिए, बिकॉज सेंट्रल लिमिट थ्योरम तो लगाते ही तब है जब आपके पास वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन जो
वेरी
है वो,
लार्ज हो।
हाँ हाँ, तो बहुत लार्ज हो। बट यूनिफॉर्म के केस में जो है वो 4 5 पे, 5 पे भी लगा देंगे, 4 पे भी लगा देंगे, मे बी 6 पे भी लगा देंगे।
बेसिकली अप्रोक्सीमेशन होगी और हमें पता है अप्रोक्सीमेट आंसर एग्जैक्ट नहीं है।
दिस इज एन अप्रोक्सीमेशन एनीवे, ये तो है ही अप्रोक्सीमेशन। तो ऑब्वियसली एन जैसे जैसे बड़ा होता जाएगा अप्रोक्सीमेशन बेहतर होती जाएगी, एन छोटा होता जाएगा तो अप्रोक्सीमेशन खराब होती जाएगी। एंड अगेन you know when we ask for the approximate answers, so for example अगर क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछा गया है, तो आपको हमने कहा कि सेंट्रल लिमिट थ्योरम लगा दें इसके ऊपर ना, so maybe in that case we are expecting कि the answer will be approximate anyway.
जी जी
सही है ना?
ठीक है सर, ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू।
नो प्रॉब्लम। ठीक है, और कोई क्वेश्चन आप में से किसी का भी हो, कोर्स से रिलेटेड अगर कोई और चीज पूछनी हो? नहीं? थैंक यू जी, बेस्ट ऑफ लक फॉर द फाइनल एग्जाम, और आई विल सेंड आउट एन ईमेल। फाइनल एग्जाम विल बी क्यूमुलेटिव। आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ आई सेंट दैट ईमेल और नॉट, बट आई विल सेंड इट अगेन, अगर पहले भेज भी दिए तो। इट वुड बी क्यूमुलेटिव, all the all the chapters that we have studied will be included. Thank you very much for being good audience. 3 लोग रह गए हैं सिर्फ आखिरी लेक्चर तक आते आते, but hopefully you know few more people might be able to see it, lectures को देख लेंगे, I hope. Thank you very much for showing up on Sunday. Okay, great, and best of luck. Okay, खुदा हाफिज।